Come home, little baby, won't you come home? She loves the whole night long. I'll do the cooking, honey, I'll pay the rent. I know I've done you wrong. In that rainy evening, I drove you out with nothing but a fine tooth comb. I know I'm to blame, but ain't that a shame? Little baby, won't you please come home? My tears are gone, here I go, singing low. Blackbird. Where somebody waits for me, sugar sweet, so is she. Blackbird. No one seems to love or understand me. Oh, what other stories they all hand me. Yet my head like the light, all the right way tonight. Blackbird, fly by.
Come on! Oh, she getting fancy?
These are Mother Brown, these are Mother Brown. Under the table you must go. E-I-E-I-E-I-O. If I catch you bending, I'll saw your legs right off. Knees up, don't get knees up, Mother Brown. Why, what a rotten song. What a rotten song, what a rotten song. Why, what a rotten song. And what a rotten singer too. These are Mother Brown. Under the table you must go. E-I-E-I-E-I-O. If I catch you bending, I'll saw your legs right off. Knees up, don't get knees up, Mother Brown. Rabbit, run, run, run. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Bang, 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 goes the farmer's gun. So run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Don't give the farmer his fun, fun, fun. He'll get by without his rabbit pie. So run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Every Friday on the farm, it's rabbit Friday. Every Friday that ever comes along, I'll go early and sing this little song. So run,
Take your drinks with you.
Actually, Vic can tell you why. Come on, Vic. You can tell us why.
Because they're a flow. They are a flow. And you consume them. So that's something you drink in your beverage. So that's why they're called gardens and not fields.
We'll be hearing from Vic a little bit later on.
Did you ever get involved in hop business as well?
Only when I was a kid.
Oh.
Yeah, only when I was a kid. As I say, when father come in, and just said to go and get into inland a bit, we used to be picked up by cattle oil, and we used to go to Hastings Leeds, somewhere that way in that way, hot picking oil. We used to get massive wet through with dew. Yeah. And they used to say, it was like being stuck with a sting in it, prickly all up your arms and that. I mean, we was only kids. Mother used to sit, we used to take them and we used to put on the light and mother used to be sitting there doing that in the old pocket, But we, of course, as I say, we picked up the cattle on me then, well, probably the day before, was cattle for the market, didn't get very cleaned out very often, I don't think. No, well, of course, it depends on when you look back, you think you crammed a lot in your life, I know perhaps I don't seem so to you. It makes you wonder, what you have achieved. I think if everybody could write a book and knew how to, put it into a book.
Yes.
And I mean, if you wrote it yourself, you perhaps wrote 2 or 3 sort of chapters, and you think, something, and you think, well, I should have mentioned that in chapter 2.
Yes.
So you need somebody to look at it and compile it afterwards, don't you?
Yes.
Because I mean, there must be a lot that you will forget.
Yes.
But after it's all done, you think, oh, I could have mentioned that in the book. Oh, that would have been interesting.
Yes.
But you
sometimes with sisters or cousins and their kids, would get down to the tin shacks near Oysters and settle in as quick as they could. They had to get up real early the following day to start hopping. They made the tin shacks as nice as they could, nice curtains for the windows, wallpaper. Made the place look cosy. Mind you, it can get pretty cold in the evenings and nights in September in Kent.
And the men folk, they used to follow them down to Kent at the weekends, because usually those men had got work to do during the week. But it still felt like an holiday to them. Mind you, it was a pretty rough job.
It wasn't a bad life, but what with standing all day, sleeping rough, and getting my hands cut to bits, I felt a wreck at the end of it. It was humiliating to see that most of the people looked at it as a holiday. In fact, it's because it was regarded as a holiday that they could get away with paying such starvation wages.
Nothing new there then.
Anyway, for one thing, at least hop picking gave you a good health. The fumes from the hops did you a lot of good. That's why a lot of people went. I take the children with me, cooking implements and the necessary food. Parents hid their children under the train seats to avoid paying for them. It wasn't a genteel holiday. You'd get up about 6 o'clock in the morning and see people frying eggs and bacon on the embers. We'd pick hops from 7 in the morning until 6 in the evening. But most of the children didn't enjoy themselves though.
I went to the Oxfields once, because the family always went. But it was terrible, really. We had to sit or lie at night time in a big barn. One night they started saying there was earwigs around. I stayed awake all night. If I'd had cotton wool, I'd have put it in my ears, but I hadn't. So I stayed up all night with my hands over my ears.
Oysters have been farmed since Roman times. In Queen Victoria's reign, Whitstable was known as the oyster capital of the country, and the business is still thriving there. The Whitstable Oyster Fishery Company, anybody been there? Yay. Comes highly recommended. Many who came down from London not only came down for the hopping and the beer, of course, but to buy Whitstable oysters.
Oysters! Where are the oysters? Oysters! Lovely oysters. Yeah.
As I was a-walking down Abbey Street, a pretty little oyster girl I chanced for to meet. I lifted up her basket and took a little peek, just to see if she had any oysters. Oh, oysters, oh, oysters, oh, oysters, said she. They're the finest oysters that ever you will see. I'll sell the 3 a penny, but I'll give to thee if you bargain for me basket of oysters. Oh, landlord, oh, landlord, oh, landlord, cried he, have you got a little room for me, oyster girl and me, that we may sit down and merry, merry be, while I bargain for a basket of oysters. Oh, oysters, oh, oysters, oh, oysters, says she. They are the finest oysters that ever you will see. I sell 3 a penny, and 5 I'll give to thee, if you'll bargain for a basket of oysters. Well, we hadn't been upstairs but half an hour or more, and this pretty little oyster girl, she tiptoed to the door. She picked up me pockets and run away once more, and left me with a basket of oysters. Oh, oysters, oh, oysters, oh, oysters, says she. They are the finest oysters that ever you will see. I sell them 3 a penny, but 5 I'll give to thee, if you'll bargain for me basket of oysters. Oh, landlord, oh, landlord, oh, landlord, I cried. Have you seen the little oyster girl so lately by my side? She's gone and picked me pockets, but the landlord he replied, you shouldn't have been so fond of your oysters. Oh, oysters, oh, oysters, oh, oysters, said she. They are the finest oysters that ever you will see. I sell them 3 a penny, but 5 I'll give to thee, if you bargain for me basket of oysters.
And those oysters are on sale tonight, 50p each. Sorry, 60p each. 60p each, and two for £1.
Cheaper Viagra.
Thank
Some people are having fit 4 telly because they've got more children. And then the children have to pick up all the rocks off the ground. Today you don't do it. We started making people in country. We had unbelievable. We started doing different things, things on the farm in different ways. We got more amalgamated. We started making robots, fit the hops. We started making know the moving book, keep the hop moving. We started not earthing up and using our own mind. So all these things reduce the work. So having reduced on the work in the field, we had to reduce the men. Now, we had 36 men working for Guinness, on 100 of us when I started in 1984. So, 1984. So when I packed up in 1990, we only had 9 men. For the same, I'm just saying that. So, between the years I started and the years I finished, that's how modernisation has taken over to make more people redundant and more efficient in growing what they're growing to make more money.
Sorry, it was a bit difficult to hear that. Steve, could you run that again? Slide 13 and 14, please. Sorry, you paid good money to come here tonight. Just to hear Vic mumbling, that's not a good idea. Vic's got a very loud voice. I'll speak down there who spoke earlier. So Steve, if it's possible, can you play it again but a bit louder?
We started making people redundant. We had unbelievable. We started doing different things, things on the farm, in different ways. We got more So all these things reduce the work. So how can we reduce on work?
I think that's still too quiet. Sorry. We'll come back to that. We go on to Chalk and Cheese. This is a song written by a local man, Bob Gates, and the music was put to it by Gordon Brenchley and Paul Butt, I think. So, Chalk and Cheese. Faversham they all come down, the nicest place they ever found, especially for the hopping.
In wooden huts by Sindale Park, 100 fires lit the dark, blazing faggots rage and spark, there's chestnuts in the embers.
Local butcher, name a creed. Little shops for all you need. friar's bread was good indeed, especially when you're starving.
In a field the green oaks grow, on strings and poles in many rows. I've asked around, but no one knows why it's called a garden.
Our bushel baskets filled with hops, up to the brims with pointed tops. From dawn to dusk it never stops. The man who takes the tally.
Please now we fall, and there's a swagger in our hall. Life so hard, but life was good. You took your pleasures when you could. There's a swagger in our hall, especially when we're all in.
The old men, they stand to boast how they come to pick the most, all the pokes up to the oast, and how they spend their money.
A stream it runs down Hollow Lane, by Nobby Smith's flows down a drain, under the street then up again. A pretty place is Osprey. Folks they came from local farms, for to dance in the old mayor's arms. Handsome girls with comely charms, a right crop for the picking.
There's a swagger in our wall. Life was hard, but life was good. You took your pleasures when you could. There's a swagger in our wall, especially when we're on
A local lad, his name was Jim. Young Grant took a shine to him. Many fish did there that swim, and he was plump for picking.
Evening walking Bisingwood. Times were hard, but life was good. We took our pleasures where we could. For autumn it was coming. Granny said she loved this place. Time ticks at a slower pace, but she joined the human race. In its end she was stopping now.
Copies now we talk. There's a swagger in our wall. Times were hard, but life was good. You took your pleasures where we could. There's a swagger in our wall.
From London cheese to local chalk, they mix to find a fine old broth.
The pub's open again.
It's a 30-minute interval.
From the
well as Londoners, gypsies and others used to come to the hop fields of Kent to pick the hop vines. But on Thursday, October the 20th, 1853, disaster struck. In the days, this is a folk opera, you know, there has to be a depressing bit. You know. I've lost myself now. In the days, yes. Okay, in the days leading up to that Thursday, Kent had experienced very heavy rain, and the fields surrounding the bridge were waterlogged to a depth of about 3 feet. That's a bridge in Hadlow. A convoy of hop pickers was travelling across the bridge back to their campsite after a day of hopping, when two of the hop pickers on horseback took the lead to wade through the water. 3/4 of the way across the bridge, one of the horses stumbled, causing the other horse to shy. Although both riders tried to steady their mounts, the side of one of the wagons banged against the rotten bridge and then tipped over the side, tossing the occupants into the swollen river, and many of them drowned. The tragedy left 30 hop pickers dead. Only 11 people survived. Many were gypsies. Others had come to earn a living from Ireland. Locals said the bridge had been in poor condition for several years. A monument, I'll get your tissues out for this. A monument still lies in the corner of Hadlow churchyard with the details of the hop pickers who died on that sad day. The name of one poor little girl still remains unknown. She was only 2. Her mother, sister and father also died, so nobody knew her name.
didn't have fancy musical instruments, just a fiddle or two and maybe a button box.
Sister, what you calling, what you doing tonight? Hope you're in the mood because the feeling's just right. How about a corner with potatoes and stew, where the music's mellow with the rhythm of the blue. There's no chance romancing with a blue-eyed chick. You gotta do some dancing to get in the mood. Sister, what you calling, what's the kindly idea? Softly swing a deal and hope you get to my ear. Everybody must agree to dance to the job. When you have a certain one you love and you're wrong, stepping out with you would be a sweet little luna. Fill the rock with others totally in the mood. In the mood. That's it, I got it. In the mood. Your ear was spotted. In the mood. Oh, what a hot hit. Be alive and get the drive. You gotta learn how. Help and play. Like a hat. Pat, pat, pat. Step like a stepper, we're mugging, and now we're hugging, 'cause we're in the mood. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream, make him the cutest that I've ever seen. Give him two lips like roses and clover, then tell him that my lonesome nights are over. Sandman, I'm so alone, don't have nobody to call my own. Please turn on your magic beam, Mr. Sandman, bring us a dream. Sandman, bring me a dream, make him the cutest that I've ever seen. Give him a little, but I'm not a rover. Then tell him that my lonesome nights are over. Sandman, I'm so alone, don't have nobody to call my own. Please turn on your magic beam, Mr. Sandman, bring us. Please, please bring us, Mr. Sandman, bring us all. Bum, 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 dream. Don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. No, no, no. Don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me. Till I come marching home. Don't go walking down Lover's Lane with anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. No, no, no. Don't go walking down Lover's Lane with anyone else but me. Till I come marching home.
This is a poem by Vita Sackville-Wells, and it's a segment about hopping. Hops ripen to their picking, down the rows of pickers, by their tally baskets bent, the gated master goes, slapping his leggings with a hazel switch, nodding good day to folk he knows, from slums poured yearly into Kent, waking the province with their cockney slang and feathered hats and fear of showers, down leafy tunnels dappled by the sun, down sea-green aisles where loam is brown and rich between the hills, and overhead the flowers. Well, I am an ex-English teacher. I should carry on. We can hear you. Yep. Yeah. In pale, imponderable clusters hang, he loiters, followed by his spaniel bitch, close into heel, sulky for lack of gun. Passed from his keeping now, those binds that since their earliest shooting had his care. Already severed, half the lines are fallen withered, and the poles are bare. But in the tallies rise the soft green heaps, high and are emptied, once again to fill, for carts between the garden and the kiln slow but unceasingly ply, and down the trampled lane come for a fresh supply. Dusk sends the pickers home to camp. The country works while the London sleeps. Within the Oast the sulphurous furnace roars, men shovel coal and clang the doors, and in an inner room play cards and dice beneath a smoking lamp, swear, spit, and grumble at the crop, the price, the master's profit and the labourer's wage with a fictitious indignation. Rage born of sound understanding, sprung like lovers' quarrels from a prickly tongue, vain of its independence and its wit, with hearts belying speech, each against a foreigner defending each, and bitter among friends unspoken laws. Comes here the master, silence falls, shadows of men on whitewashed walls, throw dice, deal cards, turn down the lamp, puff smoke, rise up and on a sudden, redly lit, pass to the kiln like demons, fiercely stoke, and to the inner room return to spit and swear, to gamble and to grumble, spit and swear. But he, the master, climbs the ladder stair to the upper loft, where silence and pale peace hold a volatile lease. In the upper loft, where mountains on the floor of sapless flowers, sap-robbed flowers, swell bulky and weightless, ashen as fair hair beneath a lamp, ashen as moonlit corn, as stubble newly shorn. Hops dried and ready for the rhythmic press, crushing their levity to a nothingness of prosy tonnage scribbled on a slate. Those airy mountains packed in terms of weight, the press that whirls its shadow on the bare white wall and raftered ceiling, wheel and spoke distorted, laying like a heavier cloak, new burdens of resin on the loaded air. Now the old dryer shuffles across the loft, opens the oast house door, where hops spread drying, sappy, green and soft, wreathed with the mounting of the faint blue smoke in a round chamber with a pointed roof. And the scent overpowers. Knee-deep he slouches, kicking up the flowers, like an old priest at some clandestine rite beneath the white walls. He, dressed in white, stealthily travels, ancient and aloof, ancient as man on earth. Man turns to wine or red earth's produce, seeks escape or need, release necessity, the alternating creed, necessity, release, food, anodyne. So the old dryer, 40 or 50 years, kicks up the hops that they be evenly dried each autumn as the harvest comes again. Grown old at a lonely task, he hears the sound of voices in the yard outside, the clang of furnace doors, the tread of men. And they, as they swing homeward down the lane, look back at the Oast and the single lighted pane, like a square beacon light in the night, and know that the dryer slouches round the wall.
Send the hook into full traction, and very slowly as the hook went along, it would pull up the vine. And if you were standing in it, you'd have to quickly remove yourself, otherwise you'd get pulled along. It didn't, they never got dangerous to it. So you would send off your particular vine and reach down and get a second one to do that. And it was hard work, and there was a lot of them. And it was physically tiring, but also because we worked in a shift of 3, there would be 2 of us, one on either side of the chamber. One would hook up the send, and the other one would get hook up the send, so we'd do 2 in tandem. And the person sitting down would inevitably fall asleep, while it was because of the sleeping thing of sickness and the sleep-inducing properties of the books. So we sit down and the next person.
Pockets packed and tallied in trucks. yourself up, how the sun will shine. Singing softly off the coast, kiss the one you love the most. Sing the tale of the farmer's host, the straggling vine. It's up the mill, we'll all go home on the Saturday night. Rams and kettles and stoves, and how the sun will shine. Sitting born and by the woods, like the smoke of the neighbourhood. Now says the end of the done, you're good at the straggling vine. In the straggling
Well, I was on the hot fields when we all broke out. On the Saturday morning when it was declared war was done, and I was still having breakfast, and because we was on the hot fields, and I thought then, as a boy, we was going to get raided that day. So, a pretty nervous time, so we didn't know what war was about. Well then, because I came home from that end of our and we still hadn't had any sign of war. Bombs hadn't dropped at that time. And my father being in the dockyard, I must have been right next to the dockyard. I was then evacuated to Wales.
And we used to watch all the dog fights and all that, and this particular day we saw this parachute coming down, and at the bottom of our hot field was the River Belt. So of course we all tore across this plain to get to this parachute. The big man came with us luckily, so we all rushed up there. But before we got to him, the Londoners had got through him from the other hot fields, and they was really furious. They wanted to string him up and all that. But anyway, he took out his gun and he shot it into the ground. We thought he was going to shoot us, but he shot it into the ground. I think he was really frightened that we'd shoot, well, the Londoners would have shot him. And then the Canadians came and took him away. And of course, went back, because when we got to this plank, in our excitement going across, we didn't notice, but it was only about a foot wide, no handrails, and the river was up. I just couldn't do it, so the poor bingman had to take us across one at the time. It took him ages, and then he got into trouble because he was laid back doing all the work. And another time when we was going home in the horse and cart at night, there was a dog fight, and this German, I suppose he was just mucking about, came down and machine gunned us. Well, we had some old ladies in there, you'd never seen them move so fast in all your life. They was out of that car and into the ditch, and then he gets out there, a glass of brandy and that, only for medicinal purposes. And of course we all lay there, but he only came over twice, and then we went home again.
Holy light of for Albion. Oh, we'll ignite for Albion.
Flames of fire light up the sky. Those who save us from our fate. It all. Parachutes fall to the ground. Oh, see the flag for Albion. Oh, we'll ignite for Albion. Join as one, checks the polls, Canadians, to keep oppression from our shore. Save us all, to save us all, to save us all, to save us all. Of Albion.
People, overwhelmingly women and children, made the journey down to Kent for the hop harvest. Although the harvest of hops attracted many seasonal workers to Kent for the summer, only about 1/3 of these were men, women and children from the East End. Hop picking also provided an important additional income for local people and travellers. There was some local hostility to the pickers. Londoners were blamed for starting fights in pubs with the locals, and some local councils complained about the strain placed on medical services.
But there's one man who was more annoying than the rest. And I get to scraps, and you know what they're like when you're playing and scrapping. We're actually hitting each other, but we do quite like fun, so you're not breaking bones, but it's still pretty unpleasant. But what was really annoying was that we done around scrapping, we had a glass eye, and around the glass eye it was yellow, it was oozing yellow stuff, and it was horrible. So I guess that's why I remember it more than other fights. Pretty unpleasant, really. And I just think I can't notice that, you know, with a little bit of love like this, it really was one to one, because no other way to still. I have no choice in that.
Take the train, on its Lots of crosses in the sky, falling like a king of light, emerging quickly from the sun. Now let's lose this getting on. Oh, see the flag for Albion. Oh, will they die for Albion? To those who save us from our fate, oh, see the flag for Albion. Oh, will they die for Albion? When we knock on history's door, and the winners keep the score, carrying on through lost but won, to save us all, to save us all, to save us all, to save us all. Oh, Albion. From the fields we watch it all, to those who fall to the ground. Oh, see the flag for Albion. Oh, will they die for Albion? Many nations join as one, checks the whole Canadians, keep oppression from our shore, to save us all, to save us all, to save us all, to save us all. Oh, Albion.
Original and taste. Original